Oh man, what's good YouTube, man? It's your boy John the Con. It's been a long time since I've done an intro like that, man. How y'all been, man? I've been doing alright, man. And this is like it's been quite a while since I did a reaction video with y'all, man. I'm trying to turn this channel into like a vlogging channel and make a separate reaction channel and then make a gaming channel. So basically diversify my stuff, you know what I mean? But that's like down the line. But for now, I see y'all enjoy the reaction videos, but not just the reaction videos, specifically these reaction videos with like the scary stories and all that. So why not give you more of it, man? So yeah, man, today we got not one but two scary hotel horror stories animated. So man, before we get to the video, man, I just want to let y'all know, like always, I'm grateful for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, man, I hope you enjoy my content. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for you to like the video. I'm not gonna force you to do any of that, man. Whatever you do is upon your choice. So I just appreciate you for tuning in, man, and welcome, man. And yeah, let's get to the video.
I quit my job as a hotel receptionist after checking in these guests. I've never told anybody this before. Sometimes I wonder if it was even real. You know, what went down? I'm still coming to terms with the event. And after trawling tons of communities, this was the only one I could find with experiences that even slightly resembled mine. I hope it's okay to vent here. I mean, fuck me. Some of you lot have been through some shit. Shit that I couldn't even imagine. Maybe you'll be able to help me with mine. I hope so anyway. It started on a night shift at work. I was working as a receptionist at a well-known hotel chain. It was a great gig for people watching, but terrible for pay. Worth noting, even if that wasn't the reason I quit, the hotel was in a rough part of town. It was one that was more frequently used for business stop owners and
Hey yo, where's his mouth? Like, whoa, why is his mouth like, why is his beard covering his mouth?
people visiting family or friends. There were almost no tourists in the area at all. Even in the summer, it was a desolate, failing place that was supplemented by the income from the bar that had become a major drinking hotspot for the locals. This meant there were often fights in the lobby, transient folk popping in and very aggressively asking me for a free room, and drug runners trying to rent a room for only a few hours at a time. In short, I was no stranger to weird shit. But none of that was anything like this. It was a few minutes before the check-in cutoff on an unusually quiet night, and a family walked in. They were a true nuclear dream.
Man, you can tell they're sus, bro. Look at the way they place their hands, bro. You can tell they're being sus right now. Even the kids, bro. That's crazy.
Mom, dad, daughter, and son, all perfectly groomed and dressed as if...
Nah, the kids, alright. But the parents, they look, yo, especially the dad, bro. He looks like a killer, bro. If I was him, bro, and I was checking these guests, bro, I would not even check them in, bro. I would just like fucking leave the place and never come back, bro. Word.
as if they were heading out golfing, despite it approaching midnight. Usually the late night check-ins were very different. I don't like to judge, but it wouldn't be a lie to say they were often drunk, drugged up, or had a notable mark where they'd removed their wedding ring, as they paid for a night with a beautiful girl. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen a family of four at that sort of time. The family didn't have a single piece of luggage on them, and were all smiling vacantly. Instantly, I found something off about them. Something creepy that set my teeth on edge.
Spit.
They made a reservation for one night under the name Marley. Only the guy spoke, and he said his name was Bob. Great, I thought. There's a sense of humor. Maybe they're just a little tired. I laughed, but he didn't get the joke. It's like he had no idea why I was laughing. Who hasn't heard of Bob Marley? Especially with a name like Bob fucking Marley.
Oh yeah, Bob Marley, the Jamaican actress. Bro, they're killers, bro. When you're a killer, bro, you don't know nothing about the outside world, bro. You just worry about the killing others.
The other three remained silent
Really
too,
sick.
creating the most awkward atmosphere I'd ever worked in. Embarrassed, I completed their check-in and gave them a short spiel about hotel services. Including the pool, spa, gym, and shuttle bus services to the nearby train station. Any plans while you guys are in the area? I asked, like I do with every guest. No plans, Kelly. As soon as he'd addressed me, he went back into static position, an inhuman smile still plastered on his face. His wife was the same, blankly looking through me as if there was something really interesting on the wall behind my head. I was starting to internally lose my shit. What really concerned me, however, were the kids. They were young, maybe 5, 7-ish, and they hadn't moved either. They weren't running in the lobby or fighting over a toy or even pulling on their parents' clothes, asking to go to bed. They stood facing me in sweater vests, identical smiles to their parents, and their hands resting behind their backs. Creepy little...
What if they're holding stuff behind their backs?
Fucks. I started to survey the lobby, hoping I wasn't alone with a family of complete freaks. The bar had just closed and all the regulars had cleared out. Not even a cleaner was in sight. I cleared my throat and tried to remain calm with a forced grin on my face as I handed Bob his keys. You're in room 52. Through that door, and there's an elevator. You want the 3rd floor, and 52 is just past the first door on the left. Enjoy your stay. I took a deep breath and looked at my computer to try and indicate that it was time for them to head to their room. But they didn't move. The fuckers...
Yeah, bro, at that point, I would have been like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, what you trying to do? Because, like, at this point, I gave you your key. I literally gave you all the policies. I gave you what there to do around here. Like, the pools and the spas. And, like, you're still staring at me, sitting in front of me, like, get the fuck away from me, like.
Just stood there, vacant and still with those stupid fucking smiles. Would you like me to help you find it, sir? I asked. No, thank you, Kelly. Could we have a drink, please? We're parched. I looked back at the empty bar, shuddered to shield the alcohol from the people that wandered in during the twilight hours. There's a fridge in your room. If you head up, it's stocked with waters and soft beverages. I held my breath this time, waiting for them to turn around and head for the door, but they didn't. They kept looking back at me as I tried to plot a sneaky way to let the doorman know I was in trouble without alerting them. I'd asked about a damn panic button under the desk so many times, and the company still hadn't shelled out for one. As my heart thumped in my chest, I cursed them. After what felt like a few minutes of a silent stare-off, Bob finally spoke. Only one terrifying word, mind you. No. What was I supposed to do with that? No? What did he mean, no? The bar is shut, sir. You'll need to head to your room for a drink. No. Again, except this time it came from his wife.
First of all, I'm not gonna say it.
Her voice was raspy, as if she hadn't spoken in 1,000 years. Instead, favoring chain smoking. Ma'am, I'm sorry. There is nothing I can do. I'm happy to walk you to your room, but I'll need to get the doorman to man the desk. Now, this time, it was from the daughter.
Yo.
And this time, she wasn't smiling. How can I help you all? I muttered, fear creeping up the back of my spine. A grin started to spread back over the little girl's face, and I pushed my chair back a bit with my feet. The revolving door began to move. Kelly! Please tell me I'm not too late for the bar. It was the voice of...
Like, what the fuck? Why would you even work there if there's creeps like this, bro?
A harmless nuisance, Jasper. Jasper was a local alcoholic who came to the hotel every night to escape his loveless marriage. Annoying, but pleasant. And someone I didn't mind bending the rules for and making a coffee out of hours to help sober him up. Jasper, hi. I'm with some of our guests at the moment. Take a seat, I'll be with you. I hoped with Jasper here the family might move on. I was misguided. Are you going to let him have a drink? Bob asked, seemingly closer to the desk than he was before. No, sir. Drinks are in your room, as I said before. What do you mean, no, Kel? Please, I'll be good, I promise. Jasper shouted from the background, not picking up on the subliminal distress cues I was trying to send him. I cursed him. Why did he have to be too drunk to realize that I was in trouble? The kids turned, hands now visible as they remained clasped behind their backs, and they walked towards Jasper. Hey, kids.
Oh my God.
What are you two doing up so...
Whoa. Are they even human, bro?
No! It all happened so fast. The kids leapt face first at Jasper, and the parents stayed at the desk.
Bro, they're not human, bro.
Staring at me, keeping me paralyzed in a position with fear. Blood flew everywhere. They tore him apart with their teeth, and I screamed. I screamed so hard that George the doorman ran into the commotion and was blindsided as the two ravenous beings turned on him. Never once did they unclasp their hand. They moved in a way that defied the laws of physics themselves, ducking, with their faces of the lethal weapon like birds pecking at their prey. I tried to get a closer picture of their faces, but I couldn't move. George shot one of the kids in the ruckus, the creepy little girl. Things went silent for a moment, and the parents' attention was finally diverted away from me. In that moment, it was confirmed that they definitely weren't human, and we were fucked. It squealed and screeched on the floor as a dark fluid oozed from the wound. Things had gotten bad in the lobby before, but never this bad. I felt like I was gonna pass out. Bob walked towards George, who was frozen with shock, unclamped his interlocked finger grip from behind his back, and reached out to rip George's head off, clean off, and rolled across the lobby floor. And I started to go into a panic attack. As I hyperventilated, I watched the wife join her family around the corpse of the daughter. We only wanted a
Fuck you crying for?
drink.
We only wanted a drink. You only wanted the drink. They sent you upstairs for the drink, my guy. And you wish this upon yourself, man.
Bob said, looking at me with the same smile he'd entered the building with, and tears in his eyes for his daughter. The wife picked up Jasper and tore a hole in his torso, pulling out one of his organs. I'm guessing it was his stomach, because when she squeezed it into her son's mouth, yellowish liquid came out. We won't be staying tonight. Bob said as he picked up the little girl and threw the key I'd handed him at me, before leading his blood-soaked family out the revolving door. It's fucked, I know.
That's fucking sick.
I called the police instantly. Before anyone says it, I don't know how I made it through the phone call, but I did. I sat waiting for them clutching the sheet that Bob had signed. Mr. Marley. I had that and the CCTV to hold on to. They had to believe me. But the Marleys didn't show up on the CCTV. The event did, however. And the police sure as fuck couldn't explain what ripped George and Jasper to shreds. Or what I was talking to and handing a key to. But they had two gruesome bodies on their hands, and were desperate for someone to blame. They couldn't appeal to the public. The details were too strange to be made a spectacle of, so you won't find any articles on the net. They tried to pin it on me, but the footage proved I couldn't have done it. I spent months in lengthy interviews, with them trying to coerce a confession out of me. They even ran a handwriting analysis on Bob's signature to prove I hadn't faked it. They told me they searched for the family described as the Marleys. The officer even joked that Bob Marley shouldn't be a tough guy to track down. Ironic, right? And wrong. They never found anything. I knew they wouldn't. These people weren't people. They were something else. I never went back to the hotel after that night. Who the fuck would, right? It was a memory I wanted to forget. And for a long time, I came close to managing it. It's been 6 years. Every time the phone rings, a small part of me wonders if it's the police with an update. But that part gets smaller each time. I'd moved on.
Yoga.
Started a business as a yoga instructor and tried my best to put the trauma behind me. That was up until last week, when I received a postcard at home. At the front was a photograph of a creep.
Hi, Kelly. It's been a while since we saw you. We've had another child now to replace the one we lost. She's so parched. We'll be over to get that drink you owe us in due course. See you soon, tomorrow. Yeah, bro, they on your ways.
Creepy fish, and at the back
They on
was
your ways.
familiar handwriting I'd spent so long looking at, just to prove what happened to me was real. Hi, Kelly. It's been a while since we saw you. We've had
I'm
another
not doing
child
the
to
voice
replace the
for it.
one we've lost. She's so parched. We'll be over to get that drink you owe us in due course. See you soon, the Marleys. I often wondered why they didn't kill me, and I wondered even more if they'd ever come back. Now, I know I was right to wonder, right to worry. I just got back from my dream vacation to Japan. For the most part, it was awesome, and everything went off without a hitch. The language barrier wasn't too bad. It was fairly easy getting around. I got to see most of the stuff on my itinerary. The food was delicious. There's only one sore spot that really stands out.
I want to go to Japan in the future with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Or by myself, but yeah, I heard Japan's really nice, bro, because I had my friend that went down there, bro. They said it was beautiful, so.
And that's the night I stayed at a capsule hotel. I was supposed to stay there 3 nights, but after the first, I ended up using my emergency funds to pay for a hotel the next 2 nights. I think you'll understand after you listen to this. I want to start off by stressing just how damn exhausted I was. This wasn't at the tail end of a 2-week trip where I hadn't taken a single day off.
This is the second one. This is the second one. This is the second
so
one.
to speak.
They
We're
didn't tell me,
talking
so I
8
didn't
to
know.
10 hours of walking every day, exploring the cities, going to shrines, shopping, and all that other good stuff. I started the day bright and early in Okusa, soaking up every bit of the city I could, knowing it might be the last time I got to see it. I took an evening train to Tokyo, which took about 3.5 hours.
You know how to shave?
From there, I headed to Akihabara and explored,
shave.
dragging my luggage behind me. I could have left it in the locker at the train station, but that meant doubling back and grabbing it. And I didn't want to subject my feet to that. I decided on a chill evening. I ended up being so enthralled that I didn't get to the capsule hotel a bit past midnight. So, yeah, I feel like I could have slept through a hurricane. I checked in, got a neat little bracelet with my capsule number, as well as a key to the small locker for my stuff. I somehow managed to wedge my oversized luggage in there. I took a shower and then headed to my capsule for sweet sleep. If you've never heard of a capsule hotel, just imagine a morgue, except instead of a wall of tiny human freezers, it's full of neat, slightly larger sleeping areas, tall enough to sit up and use a lap.
So basically, you sleep in a fancy prison, basically. Why would people even make that shit? Like, I looked at that, I thought it was like, yo, you like putting yourself in prison or something? But it's like a fancy prison if you want to think about it.
Laptop and long enough to sleep in, but not much else. As I crawled into capsule 616, I noticed a little light indicator come on outside the capsule to indicate it was occupied. Sweet. I pulled the door down, played with every single knob on the wall just because I could, and once I figured out how to turn the lights off, my head hit the pillow and it was off to dreamland for about 10 minutes. It wasn't long before I started hearing a voice through the walls. I guess the walls were thinner than they looked. And also, my sleep hadn't plunged into deep enough territory for me to stay unconscious despite the mental and physical exhaustion. I tried to fall back asleep, but the voices kept me up. It was constant, and I mean seriously, non-stop. I don't think she ever took the time to breathe. Imagine that one Eminem song, you know the one, right? It was like that, except it went on for easily half an hour. Because the sound was muffled, and because every syllable melded into the next, I couldn't make out what language she was speaking. I don't think it was Japanese. I don't know. I'm not a linguistic expert, but there weren't a lot of that I sound you hear so
Alright, that voice is
often in
getting creepy,
Japanese.
bro. Chill.
And she was hitting those R's pretty hard. So if I had to guess, I think it might have been German. Whatever language it was freaking me out. That's when I remembered the buttons on the wall. I pawed around until I turned the lights on, and then found the knob for the white noise. Bless you, Japan, for your practical technology. My little capsule was soon filled with the sound of rain and thunder, easily overpowering the voice from my neighbor's capsule.
Yo, that's kind of nice. A hotel room with white noise? That's kind of nice.
Capsule. I could still hear her, sure, but she was like a whisper in a typhoon. I dimmed the lights, closed my eyes. All was right with the world. For, you guessed it, about 10 minutes. Intermixed with the synthetic storm was the wailing of a tornado siren. It took me a long time to realize it wasn't meant to be there, and that it was coming from my neighbor. At this point, it was about 2 in the morning. I was tired. I was cranky. I just wanted a few hours of sleep for another fun-filled day of adventure. I was internally cursing at whatever inconsiderate fucking tourist starts screaming in their goddamn capsule in the middle of the goddamn night.
I've never felt so close to the possibility of disclosure. So definitely,
knowing full well everyone could hear her. In my frustration, I made one big mistake. Shut the fuck up! This was her invitation to start screaming back. And boy, did she take it and run with it. Screaming, she hit the wall so hard, I swear to God, it felt like my entire capsule was shaking. It was like she was full-on body slamming it with all her might. All while screaming so loud I could barely hear the storm anymore. I put my hand on the wall and felt it buckle as she thrashed against it. I backed away in the opposite wall, but I could still feel every slam, as though it was coming from the capsule in my left instead of my right. I'd had enough. I was gonna see if the concierge was still awake, and see what they could do about putting me in another floor, or kicking this jerk off. I opened my capsule door and jumped onto solid ground. The little occupied light at the foot of my capsule turned off after a few seconds. The noise stopped. The banging ceased.
You fucked up.
And my breath caught in my throat. I looked at the indicator under my neighbor's capsule. It was turned off. I could feel sweat pouring out of me. Just a broken light, right? That's what I'd hoped. But I guess I've read one too many horror stories. Because something compelled me to grab her door handle and slowly lift it. Yeah, the neighbor's capsule was empty. I spent the night on a bench in the locker room. I know I probably should have left entirely, but I was spent. The next morning, stiff and barely rested, I went down to the lobby and tried to explain what happened in my pitiful Japanese. The concierge looked confused. And even after using a translation service, I didn't get anywhere until she saw my bracelet with the room number. There was the slightest micro expression of horror on her face. She pulled my arms towards her, gently took the bracelet off, and flipped it around. I was supposed to be in capsule 919. Not 616. That look on her face, though, I can still picture it in my mind's eye. I have a feeling it wasn't just a look of, oh dear, you were in the wrong capsule. I think she knew damn well what was going on. So yeah, I went to a hotel that next night.
Hey man, too bad we didn't get to see what was actually the fucking beast that was doing that noise. But man, this is your boy JohnTheCon. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Snapchat. All those will be down in the links. All of those will be in the link. All of those will be in the link in the description down below. Okay? But yeah, man, if you enjoyed this video, man, let me know. I'll do way more of these videos, man. Without further ado, man, I'm out of here. I love y'all. Peace.